The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And it is Wednesday in the Riv after a council meeting, which we got a lot to talk about. Let's clean up this stuff that we got on the forward so we can spend the rest of the show.
Well, we can clear up some misinformation.
Opining. Well,
yes.
the rest of the show will be opining about the mayor grasping at straws again on the radio, double down on his misinformation campaign. But let's go.
Well, here we go. I received an email this morning from Ryan Lyons, chairman of the Board of Elections here in Fall River, where he says, "Good morning, CJ. I hope this email finds you well. I had a conversation with Attorney Rumsey in regards to your question about Section 8-6 of the city charter. The 20% voter turnout requirement does not apply to the MBTA zoning referendum. Reason being, 8-6 would pertain to referendum questions started by a citizen's petition. As the City Council adopted an order to hold a special election at their June 28th meeting, the voter participation requirement outlined in 8-6 would not be relevant in this election. I hope this information is helpful. If I can assist you with anything else, please let me know."
Well, I don't know if that's accurate, but let's put it this way: it was expected.
Yeah, it was expected.
It was expected. They're not gonna they're gonna try everything they can and keep the turnout low, and it may be low, unfortunately, because
it's Fall River.
Because it's Fall River, and there's virtually no contested elections.
Right. But
they vote straight Democrat, and there's only one candidate, and so people will go, what the hell? What have I got to go there for? But we're gonna have to dig a little deeper on that opinion, because it is technically by the citizens of Fall River, because the state says that the citizens have to
do it. Correct.
So that referendum does deal with the citizens of Fall River. So as I said, and that's the whole key. They're going to hang their hat and say, runaway Rumsey said this again. But the fact is, remember, this is an opinion. But again, what are they going to do? Force us to go to court, raise money, and
like we're doing,
like we're trying to do now, and to get them in for real violations. But this is the problem. They get these things, and then they go before the council, and the council, Attorney Rumsey says, well, I can get 12 other attorneys to dispute that.
Yeah, exactly.
So that puts that one for now, but it will resurrect itself before
Well, did you hear in my citizens' input that I don't trust the opinions?
Exactly. Yeah, you did.
That's right. I'm public about it.
It was like you're a fitsader. You're a fortune teller. You knew that. You knew that opinion even before you got it.
Exactly.
So, amazing. Okay.
Next is Jared on TV. Jared, we really appreciate your viewership. We appreciate your comments. We love them all the time. Jared wrote, no, I think it's a damn shame Fall River has been waiting for a train for over 30 years. Probably the last city in America not to have train service. That's a little...
that's a little much, yeah.
That's a little much. I understand the issues with the MBTA, and I think it sucks that the only way for Fall River to get train service is to have to deal with all the bull crap. I have to change it because that's not exactly what he said. If a no vote prevails in November, I guess Fall River goes back to being the lovable crap hole city in decline that everyone is so content to make fun of while flocking to New Bedford, Newport, and Bristol to have all their fun. With a waterfront and a downtown, we should be a better attraction than what we are. It sucks to see Fall River always looked down on when I know damn well the potential for the city is so endless. And he's right. The potential for the city is endless.
Yeah, but
we don't have a nightlife.
But listen, look.
And the only restaurants we have are Portuguese restaurants.
Listen, number one, Kenny File has got total control of there, and they're only going to put in the businesses they want.
That's right.
And they're going to be yuppie businesses.
Right. Just
like when Jerry Remy opened up, and now Jerry Remy's had 3 different owners because they can't survive. It's too expensive for the average Fall Riverite. And we're not going to get tourists because we have nothing. As Jared said, we appreciate your viewership and all your comments. But the reality is, listen, that train is not going to change anything. It's not bringing money to Fall River. It's not the money train. Wesley Snipes is not riding on the top of it trying to steal the money. The reality is that is much to do about nothing. The ridership will be low. You went over some of the prices. They're astronomical. People cannot. Why don't you go over a couple of these prices?
Yeah, right now the fare from Middleborough to South Station is $25 round trip. Excuse me, don't call me a liar. $24.50. But you know, somebody will call me a liar for 50 cents.
$24.50. That's right.
Okay, that's what it is from Middleborough to South Station. Now here's the thing: Fall River is further down the line, so the fare from Fall River is going to be higher. I'm not going to try to project.
Because that's why we asked it for projected figures.
Exactly, and we're not getting them.
We're not getting them. That's right.
And I did not find out though that a monthly commuter rail pass goes for $90 a month to $490 a month, depending on the distance. And Fall River seems to be way out there.
So you're going to be at the top because we're going to be one of the furthest spots away.
Right.
You know.
And Middleborough is classified as a Class 8 community. I'm not sure what Fall River is going to be classed at, but we're getting more information. And just so people know, I have here a read receipt from Steve Poftak, who is the general manager of the MBTA. Hear that, Paul? I've got his email address too. And I've asked him for all communications and projections that Paul has asked for, all communications between Paul and him, and all MBTA projections for the next 10 years or 5 years, whichever they have, and what those assessments will be on the city of Fall River. Because Paul went on the radio and said that he got an email from the general manager of the MBTA. He didn't even bother giving the guy credit and giving him his name, and said that there will be no assessments on Fall River.
No, the assessment is zero.
The assessment is zero. Okay, that's right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what we're asking for.
I know, but let's get back. Let me wrap up, Jared.
Yeah.
Okay, then we'll get to that because I'm really, Jared. With all due respect, as I said, we like to debate everything, but the train. First, it was the carousel, then it was Battleship Cove, then it's whatever. They're always going to be the panacea to Fall River's problems. I respectfully disagree with that. The panacea will be educating people, making them good jobs, and making Fall River a better place to live for its residents, not for people to come down here to explore our waterfront. Newport's got a far better waterfront, frankly. Hate to say it, but it's true. 12-mile drive, all the mansions. I've been saying this for years. I'm not saying this in response. I've said it for years. You can check. There's no way Fall River is going to get any appreciable uptick in anything with tourism, because Fall River is centrally located to get to some of the best places. But just think about it. You're driving in from Connecticut, New York, or wherever. You hit Fall River and you go, well, Newport's 15 minutes away, 12-mile drive, Tennis Hall of Fame, Cliff Walk, all kinds of stuff in the news, Brick Alley, whatever. And 35 minutes down the road, we got Cape Cod. Probably two of the most popular tourist destinations in southeastern Massachusetts.
Especially for Venezuelans.
Yeah. Well, nobody can get on Martha's Vineyard. Well, listen, with all due respect, Fall River had many opportunities to move this city forward. He talked about containerized shipping. Now, that's a viable alternative. It creates jobs, and you don't need a college education to unload, but they pay very well. Stevedores get paid very well. Right. But they didn't do that. This is all about making money for developers. It's not going to really help. And as far as the MBTA is concerned, listen, I will vote my conscience, and I'll be frank. I wasn't in favor of the MBTA 30 years ago, because I knew it was going to be nothing more than a bird. People are not going to pay $25 round trip for a family of four to go up to Boston to pay Boston prices. Has anybody figured out that we're in the midst of a massive recession, inflation? Now you have your electricity rates going up 64%, your heating bill going up 36%. The average income for people in Fall River is $26,000. Therein lies the difference. There's where Fall River has to change. Fall River has to begin to train people and get people in here and make this city a safer city, not #1 in crime 2 consecutive years, and get an educational system that no matter how much we spend can't crack the top 200, because we know that people with money do not move to areas that have high crime and poor education. So with that, we'll segue. You're right. Paul, again, was doubling down on the radio. But I want to tell you something, CJ. He's the gift that never stops giving. I mean, he thinks he's still in school talking to children. Do you really believe that cavalier, ridiculous statement is going to fly? I got a letter from the general manager that says our assessment is 0. Yeah, you're right. And as CJ said, he asked for what did you ask him? Did you ask him what our projected assessment's going to be? I can guarantee you didn't, because I asked Representative Fiola, and I'm still waiting a month later. Nobody wants to know the projections. So let me explain something to the people who Paul has totally disrespected by talking to them like they're total morons. If I call City Hall right now and ask what my tax bill is, are they going to give me next year's tax bill rate? No, because they haven't computed it yet. Are they going to give me my tax rate for 5 years from now? No. Does that mean, Paul, since you said our assessment is 0, does that mean forever? I want you to go on the radio and say, yeah, I guarantee it. And if it's not, I'm going to pay the differences out of my pocket, out of my retirement, out of my savings account. I'll sell my house. I'll mortgage everything to pay the assessments. You're going to tell me that's not going to happen? Well, it's happening in Arlington, Watertown, all the places around Boston. There are tons of articles. As a matter of fact, one of our former employees, Adam Chapdelaine in Arlington, was complaining about the methodology used to compute the assessments because they were paying so much. You think people are so dumb that they're going to think that this is forever? The MBTA will be forever if we vote for it. But this isn't forever. The assessment is 0 now because, #1, we're not in the MBTA authority. There's a whole bunch of laws, and Nelson Vasquez has gone before the council numerous times, come on this show. We've talked about all the different formulas. We're asking for projected number. We don't pretend to know, but I can tell you one thing. I'll bet anybody in the world that it's not going to be 0 forever, because the people in Boston and the Boston area is paying $166 million right now in assessments for the MBTA. Boston's share is around 85 or 86 million. And they're not happy about it. And these are rich, affluent communities. Arlington, household income around 140-something. Watertown, around 140-something. Cambridge, well over that, 150-some thousand. Newton, 165,000. These people are complaining about the cost of the MBTA, and they're ever increasing debt. Now we know that next year their projected debt may be as high as $451 million, and prospectively there was an article that in 10 years they may be $1 billion in debt. So Paul, are you telling the people it's 0 forever? So are you telling me, and I got a witness right here, you're telling me right now if I call or I send an email to City Hall and ask for my tax rate, that's my tax rate forever? I don't have to worry ever again about my taxes going up? I don't think so. Because I already know I'm going to get hammered again next year, because here comes Durfee, then comes Diamond, then comes the 28 jobs that you funded. But let me just wrap this up and I'll kick it over to you. This is an example of what happens when you put someone in office, and he ran against somebody who was under indictment, but you know, I think Sean Kadim was right when said we probably should have kept him till he went to jail because he could run the city better.
That's right.
And it's true, because what Paul Coogan is showing right now is not only his lack of leadership, because he's never addressed any problems in his city, be it Malone, the police department, the crime, the ATVs on the street. We never hear anything. Everything is under the cloak of darkness. But you know what else he shows? That he has no interest in the future of Fall River. And that's what a mayor should have. Not only what you're doing today, but to create a city that will be better in the future for the people of Fall River's children and their children. Make this a better place, a safer place, a more effective place. But does he do that? No. He ran away from Fall River when he retired. He came back only to become a politician. And when he's done being mayor, he's going to run away again. He doesn't care about what happens in the future. And him reading that ridiculous email and trying to pretend that it's zero, our assessment will be zero forever, is an insult to anybody's intelligence. But this is what Paul Coogan does. This is the agenda from last night's meeting. Let's see what's on it. Mayor proposed ordinance for salary for the director of Fall River Emergency Management. Proposed ordinance. Reorganization of city departments. You know what that means. More people, more money, more heads. Salary schedule for contract personnel. More pay raises for his friends. Salary schedule for executive officers, department heads, and non-union personnel. People that he can negotiate with in his office. That's what that is. In a time when the Fed is raising interest rates to stop spending, Paul Coogan has not stopped giving jobs and pay raises since the day he walked into the 6th floor. He thinks he's still in the school department who can strong-arm money from the state and the city under ed reform. So listen, the moral of that story is that this man was never qualified to be mayor and should not continue to be mayor. And in the next election, let's hope he does not run. And if he does, let's hope he gets crushed.
Yep. Well, I want to give you a little bit of information on the commuter rail again. Commuter rail one-way fares start at $2.40 up to $13.25 based on distance traveled. So Fall River is probably going to be $13.25 one way. Now, a monthly commuter rail pass is $90 to $426.
Hold it. Oh, so that means the number is even high. You said $24.50. $13.25?
Yeah, so probably $26.50.
$26.50.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I can do math fairly quickly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that's for Middleborough. It's $12.50.
And that's from Middleborough. We may be even a little bit more.
You never know.
Or maybe they'll give us the discount rate for the first year. Like Paul says, don't worry, your assessment will be zero for this year.
The commuter rail monthly pass will be $90 to $426 a month.
I'm going with $426 for Fall River.
Now, but don't let this scare you away, because guess what? There's a commuter rail weekend pass, $10 for everything for the entire weekend. Saturday and Sunday, all your T-rides are covered in the $10 fee.
Except we may not have weekend service.
Exactly.
Bada bing, bada bang.
So we don't know what we're going to get. And
I know what we're going to get. I know what we're going to get.
Whoa.
That's right. Exactly. I know what we're going to get.
Oh, we can't. We can't make this stuff up.
No, you can't. You can't. No matter how hard you try, you couldn't make up a mayor telling people that I wrote a letter asking what my assessment is, and what are you going to get? They don't even know what next year's assessments are going to be because of the disaster. And also, question one, if anybody read that did you get a little...
Yes, I got the red book. I brought it in.
Oh,
remember?
not only the red book. No, they're sending out...
Oh, the cards?
The card.
The question one
push,
cards?
the cards.
Do you see who's sponsoring it? The National Teachers Association, the
and-
Massachusetts Teachers Association.
But did you see what it said where the money is going to go?
Yeah.
Education and what?
Roads.
Transportation.
Yeah, transportation.
Transportation. Don't you think the MBTA is crossing their fingers?
Oh, yeah.
That they're going to get there so they can get a little bit of some more money to defer that $451 million debt that they're looking at projected for next year and billions. But again, like I said, Paul's ridiculous. He's going to read that like it's something. It shows he doesn't have any ability to, and he doesn't think at all about the future of Fall River because he has done nothing. What I think somebody should do who wants to run against Paul is take all the salaries when Paul came in office, see what they're getting now.
Yeah.
Even in opposition of ordinance that he gave out. And also positions that we had and positions that the new positions we have, and some of the ones that are already in this agenda. Because when we look at this, we know that Paul likes to spend like a drunken sailor, like the school department does. They're like a giant vacuum cleaner. That's how we ended up with deans of students for middle school. Nobody did. I know, you got a PhD. You went to college for half your life. So the thing is, you didn't see a dean of students when you were in middle school. I didn't see one in middle school. I didn't see one when I was in high school. I didn't see one till I was in college. Then I saw a dean of students. Say, what the hell is that? Oh, that's some guy that you go talk to or some woman you go talk to. I don't know. Nobody ever, deans of students do virtually nothing. But it's a position.
They're political jobs.
It's a position that pays. This man has not done a damn thing for the average person of Fall River. He has not tried to, even though he promised twice to hold down taxes, he hasn't.
Right. He actually promised us that he would not raise them.
That would not raise them either. Who cares? That's just,
That's political hyperbole.
The Blarney Stone. The Blarney. He kissed the Blarney Stone when he visited.
He didn't kiss it. He ate it.
When he visited the homeland.
Yeah.
But look, this kind of stuff is for any mayor. But it just goes to show, like I said, his disconnect with the reality. He doesn't care about Fall River. He left it. His first action when he got through working in a system, and like a lot of people, and I know a lot of people in a lot of departments that stayed in Fall River only because they were looking for a promotion and they figured being a resident would help them. They go, oh, the other guy's doesn't live in Fall River. I do. But as soon as they're gone, as soon as they don't have an investment in the city of Fall River, they're out of here with a vapor trail coming out of their butt. Actually, one of Paulie's best friends, Nick Chris, his wife was a principal in the Fall River school system. As soon as she left that job, he left Fall River. He doesn't live in Fall River anymore, and he's got enough money to live anywhere.
Right.
And Paulie did. What did he do? He got out of. He bailed. He came back only to be a carpetbagger, and that's what he is. So he doesn't care about the future. He's looking at how many jobs. Let me see. Let me reorganize. Oh, I can put a whole bunch of people to work with this reorganization. Oh, let me get the salary schedule for contract personnel. Because the contract personnel don't have to say, well, we can't go from the 8th lowest paid fire department in our universe of 10 cities to the highest paid in one jump. That would be a catastrophic increase. They go, oh, you should give me a lot of money. I do really good work. Okay, you're going to vote for me, right? You and your whole family? Okay, you got a pay raise. And then salary schedule for executive offices. I don't know what the definition of an executive officer is. Does that mean department heads?
No.
I don't know.
No, department heads are included in that.
Yeah.
If you look.
Oh, yeah, department heads and non-unit. So that means that, as I said, the attitude of I don't give a damn how much money I spend.
That's Linda's attitude.
Department heads are now going to get massive pay raises. Why? They're going to pay the fire. You know what the fire chief's formula used to be? And I know that because I negotiated stuff like this. The formula for the pay of a fire chief was twice the pay of a top step firefighter. Okay? That was the formula. So, you getting texties?
I'm getting messages.
All right. Well, that was the formula. And throughout the state, the formula was Firefighter pay, double the pay, and then up through the ranks, incrementally up to that pay. But Paul doesn't care. We're going to pay the chiefs a whole bunch of money and screw the Indians.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and actually I heard at that council meeting there is an outstanding contract that is maybe going to arbitration.
Yes.
So it normally goes to arbitration because of money. And, you know, that's always the ultimate. So, I mean, look, this guy has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt he has no investment in Fall River. He has no commitment to the future of Fall River. And to me, a mayor's biggest commitment should be to deal with the really critical problems we have, like underperforming education and crime and drug addiction, but have a plan to take this, not only work on this, but make Fall River a better place. Make Fall River a safer place.
There's no question about that.
But he doesn't care.
Right.
Because he's spending money. Like I said, the feds are raising all the interest rates. You know why, Paul? Just in case, I know you're not good with numbers, but this is a real simple economics lesson. When you raise everything up and make it so expensive, people stop spending. They stop buying houses. They stop charging too much on their credit cards, except the ones that have to go bankrupt, and they do. But that reduces demand. And how does this economy work? Supply and demand. Right now, they're printing money. Your blood brother Brandon is printing money and giving it to everybody. They caused the inflation. They caused the recession. On a national scale where they can print their own money, I want the people of Fall River to think of the fallout that his legacy is going to leave with all these pay raises and all this massive spending, because the next mayor will have to try to undo this stuff and reorganize the entire city, because this guy loves to pay people. I'm telling you, director of what was that?
Director of EMS?
No.
I mean, EMA?
No. The city. What the hell is it?
City operations.
Director, of city operations. You go 2 pages down, you want to give all the department heads pay raises. What the hell are you going to give them? You got somebody in charge of the entire city. But now you're going to pay all the department heads to run their departments. That's what they get paid for. What is this guy going to do? You're going to have a guy in charge of city operations. Does he know anything about police? No. Does he know anything about fire? No. Does he know anything about DCM? No. But he's going to be the director. Why? Because he's going to get a paycheck. This guy is the worst thing that ever happened to Fall River.
I agree. You know, I've been wanting to mention, you know, we've been on the air for 10 years, which we've mentioned before. In 10 years, we've made a lot of predictions.
Yep.
How many of them didn't come true?
Very few.
Very few, if any.
If any.
If any. And, you know, that's the sad part about it, because then we can turn around and they say, oh, well, you were right. Well, when I ran for office, I told them the truth, and I told them what was going to happen. And guess what? I was right. They said, you were right. We should have voted for you. Well, guess what? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah. It doesn't work that way. You got to give people a chance. So in the upcoming city election, give new people a chance. Think about the fact that you have a city council currently, which has been there for years, except for, you know, 2 people or 3 people, and they're really not doing anything for Fall River. They're not doing anything for the people. They're doing everything for their friends. So remember that. When you elect people, they're not supposed to be working for their friends. They're supposed to be working for you, the people. Because remember, this country was founded on we the people.
Yeah, we need to return government to the people.
Exactly, exactly. Well, everyone, I want to thank you all for watching. We'll see you on Friday, and remember, stay safe, stay angry, and hold your politicians accountable. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Friday.